Hey everybody, this is Jim, the Tabletop Engineer, and welcome to a new video playthrough series. Today I'm starting 2D6 Realm. I have played this before, but I'm starting a new campaign for a couple reasons. One, I've learned some of the mistakes I made in previous games, and I want to make sure I clear those up. The other thing is, one of the things I did a lot in the last hero was I tracked things wrong. So I've created myself a board here that I can use with some tokens to help me stay organized. I do track a lot of what I do on my iPad using the Good Notes app, but when I go to the dungeon and I do combat and things like that, I will switch from this board over to my standard 2D6 dungeon board. Now, if you're not familiar with this game, I'm going to start from the beginning and explain a lot of the rules and things like that. This game, 2D6 Realm, is based on 2D6 Dungeon. You do need this core rulebook. This game is by Toby Lancaster. You will need this book to play 2D6 Realm. You don't need 2D6 Realm to just play plain old 2D6 Dungeon. But the Realm adds this overland exploration part. With 2D6 Dungeon, you're just underground. You're exploring a dungeon up to level 10 levels of the dungeon to reach legendary status. With 2D6 Realm, you're still going to be exploring that dungeon, but you're going to be working also towards building up your land and your what you own, gathering income, and trying to gather materials to craft a legendary armor and a legendary weapon so that you can go into what's called the legendary dungeon. The game is based on turns, and each turn has 6 rounds, and there are various things that you'll be able to do per round. One of the major things that you want to be doing in this game is exploring, expanding your area of influence. And it all starts with this homestead. You start with a single homestead, and from there you will explore out. You'll encounter different types of land. You'll encounter ruins. Special events will occur. You'll encounter wandering monsters. There's a lot going on in this game. It is really, really cool. And I've been itching to get back to it. And a lot of people have been asking me to get back to 2D6 Realm. So here you are. I'm going to do it. Now, I've already crafted my hero. My hero is named Tanidam. He is a level 1. He starts with 10 health. I don't know what I did here. He has a longsword. I've chosen 2 starting maneuvers, which is the combat, and some armor. And I've got some basic supplies going. But when the game starts, you're in your homestead, and I guess you've woken up and you just decide it's time to go explore. What I think is kind of funny is you started this homestead not knowing what's around you, but you got there magically just appearing. I just find it kind of humorous. It's like I don't know anything that's around me. So during this game, what I'm going to do is in the early episodes, I'm going to explain some of the rules and things that you do. But later on in the game, I'm just going to be rolling dice and doing things so that you'll just have to understand what I'm doing. So pay attention in these early few games, and let's see what we can do. Now, knowing that I have no knowledge of the land, these are the 6 things you can do. You can explore a new plot or plot area. These are plots. Each one of these areas between these 4 marks is a plot. I'll zoom in a little bit. You see, that is a plot, that single square. So my homestead is in a single plot. You can construct or upgrade buildings on lands you own. That's another action you can take during a turn or a round. You can explore a discovered site. So let's say you explore a plot of land and you find an old abandoned tower on it. You will explore the land, but not the site. You can come back as an action to explore that tower. You can visit the High Actuary. The High Actuary is kind of like the king, and he will make decisions mostly based on ownership of land. You might encounter a piece of land that's owned by somebody else, but it's surrounded by your land. You could sort of maybe try to claim ownership. There's a little bit of political intrigue going on in the behind the scenes of this game. There are characters that you will encounter who can be bribed to give you their land, or they may send you on a quest to trade their land. So the High Actuary will come into play at times. Another action is to explore the dungeon. When you do that, you leave the above ground and you go to the dungeon. The dungeon consists of 10 levels. And when you choose a round to go to the dungeon, that round is while you're down exploring. If you're familiar with 2D6, on each level there is like a secret exit back to the surface. It's like a hidden chute. And you can do it to return to town. Well, you can also use that chute to just return to the above ground. And you spend one round in the dungeon exploring. Another thing you can do is you can visit town once per turn. So let's say you're way away from home exploring. You can choose that to go to town. And I think in this case, there's a lot of towns, I guess, in the area, and you're just picking the closest one and going to it. And it takes an entire round. Now, every 6 rounds that passes, a month goes. And I'll be tracking my month with this D12, and it starts on month number 1. At the end of 6 rounds, you increase the month counter, and then you do these 6 activities. You collect income, you pay your taxes, restore your health if you lost health. You will check your realm awareness and modify unrest. As things happen, your land and the people that live on your land, the workers you employ and things, they can become happy, they can become sad, they can become angry, and it all depends on the realm awareness and unrest. Finally, at the end of a month, you will roll a monthly event, and then after 12 months, you roll on a yearly event. And it begins at year 837 is the year that the game takes place. So what I want to do on this first turn is I want to explore a new plot or plot area. And the way you do this, all of these activities, these 6 actions, are described in detail in the book. And exploring a new plot is on page 13 if you want to follow along. And it says basically you roll to determine the type of land. Then you will determine the claim ownership, whether someone owns it or it's unclaimed. You will encounter it. That means you discover what is on it or what kind of land it is. Then you will roll, and it says also there's an option. You will roll on the 5 plots table if you encounter a plot area or string that is larger than 4 plots. Sometimes when you explore, like let's say you explore a plot, it's actually maybe 4 plots, and it's an area, and it's called it's a larger plot area. And if it hits 5 squares or more, you roll on a different chart. So let's go ahead and explore a plot area. So it takes 1 turn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark round 1. I'm going to put that I'm exploring a new plot area. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll on the table called TLAT1. On my board here, I put page 178, so I won't always have to look it up. On page 178, there are 36 different types of land. How do I know 36? Because you're going to roll a D6 and a D6. And you're going to roll 2 different colored dice. And the reason for that is one will be called your primary and one will be your secondary. This will also apply in 2D6 Dungeon for combat. But in this case, you'll roll the primary, you'll roll the secondary, and you'll consult this table. And so you want to specify when you roll your dice, which is your primary. For me, I always use green as primary and red as secondary. So let's choose to explore the plot to my north. I roll the dice, and I rolled a 1-6. I come to this table, and I look at 1-6, and it's called Barren, B-R. Now, as you explore, you want to track the exploration value. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a square up in the right corner, and I'm going to put 1 because this is my first exploration, and I'm going to put the letters for the area, which is B-R. It is an area, or if it's unique. If it's unique, it is 1 plot. If it's an area, then you have to go and roll to see how many plot squares it is. So let's go do that. We know what it is, and it says once you have established the land type, you must establish who owns the land. Now we also have to do the, it's the type of land information. So we'll get to the area in just a second. So let's go ahead and see who owns it. To see who owns it, it says once you have established the land type, establish who owns it, see the process of claiming land. So turn to page, a couple pages actually I think, and there's a place on claiming the land. And it's on page 21. It says claiming land in 2D6. As soon as you reveal the land, you roll to see if it is. As you claim land, you take the responsibility. So here's how it works. You roll a D6. On a 3 to 6, there is no claimant, and you can claim it. If you roll a 1 or 2, the land is already owned by somebody else. I rolled a 6, so there is no claimant. So I will claim the land, and there's a chart that you want to use for this. It's a land log. It's right here. And the plot area type, sorry about that, you write in, and you do this, you can do this with number. I'm going to just put BR, and I'm going to put a 1 to indicate that's it. The plot area tag, sorry, it's 1BR. I meant to do that. Let me erase that. So it's 1BR. It is barren. That's the type of land. And we don't know the size yet, but we do know the rank and other things like that. The rank will affect how much taxes are charged by the land and other things. Barren is a rank of 1, so it doesn't have a lot of value. You can modify the rank by putting buildings on it, making it more valuable, and then it will calculate how much taxes. There's a details here, which we'll get to, and then building points. All plots have 100 unless specified. Some of them have less than 100. I think the barren does have 100. But let's go back now. We know that I can claim the land. If you want to claim it, you write it on this, the land log. If you didn't want to claim it, there is an unclaimed land log. However, if I choose not to claim the land, I enter it in here, but if I ever come back and want it, it will be claimed, and you'll have to roll to see who claims it. All right, let's go back to the plot formation. All right, so we encountered the land, and now we need to find out how big it is. Now, as I said, unique is 1 square. Area is different. It says roll a d6. This is the number of additional squares. So it's 1 plus whatever. You automatically get 1, and then you roll a d6 to see how many more. I rolled a 3. So 3 pieces of land are also the barren. And what I can do is there is a symbol. There's a page of symbols for each different type of land. And barren it's got these little lines with circles. So basically it looks like this. A bunch of lines and then little circles at the end. And I'm going to put that in 4 squares. I'm going to do this one, and this one. So I'm just going to draw the land type, draw the little circles like so. And what I can do, just to save time, I can copy this and just paste it. And those 4 are barren. You can also color code it if you want, if you have the color ability, which with my pen I do. I'm not going to do that right now, but that is the plot of land. So go back to the table, and I'll write in the size is 4. Oops. The size is 4. And right now I will pay 4 silver in taxes at the end of the month for that piece of property. Now, what's interesting in this game, and I could be wrong, but I think I'm right, you start with no money. So you better go find some money. After you determine the land type, you have to encounter it. And encountering it means turning to a table in the back of the book. Now, starting on page, I'll tell you just a second. Starting on page 68, there's what's called the Land Type Encyclopedia. And the land types are by alphabetical order. So here's abandoned dwelling with an A. And I'm just going to flip a few pages to find barren. And I got to go back 1. And here is barren. Okay, and it shows me the symbols for it. It tells me the building modifier. Due to poor resources, buildings cost an extra 10 gold to build here. So remember I said there's a details section? I'm going to write in plus 10 gold per building to remind myself that I have to pay, and it says wells cannot be built here. I'll write no wells. So you can't drill for water or dig for water. All right, there is a chart after each one of these. It's a 2d6 roll, So you'll roll between a value of 2 and 12. And this is the encountering the land. So let's roll. It doesn't matter if the dice are the same color or not. You're adding them here. I rolled a 4 plus 5 is 9. So I'll turn the page and we'll see what 9 says. 9 says, the area becomes rough and undulating. You see that one dip leads down into the ground and you find a tunnel. It is well hidden and you just happen to have stumbled upon it. Roll on TURET1. So sometimes it will direct you to roll on on another chart. And in this case, it's telling me I discovered a tunnel. Well, what I'll do is I'll put the tunnel right here and I'll just have it go into the ground, all right? And I'm going to label it tunnel. And table TURET. If you can't find a table, flip to the back of the book. There is a listing in the back here, of all the tables, and it uses their little letter acronym. So table TURET1 is called Tunnel Revealed Table 1, and it says it's on page 179. So I flip to page 179, and here is the Tunnel Revealed, and it's a D6. So you roll a D6. I rolled a 5. The tunnel leads down to a basement. There are some rough boxes and crates in this ancient storage. In amongst it, you find an ancient parchment. Write, parchment designer in the shameful secret of the realm ledger. So you're going to find things. So under the realm ledger, under the shameful secret, you know what? There's another page I forgot to add to my iPad, and it is, so I'm going to write it in under the negatives right now. I have the parchment design. These are things that you will find that can come into play later on. They're like secrets. So it looks like I found a secret. And there are a number of these hidden throughout the land. So I'm going to put secret here. Shameful secret, excuse me. Shameful secret. And that is the end of that round. So again, let's go over it one more time because I'm not going to do this a lot in the future. You choose where you want to explore. You roll to see what the land type is. Then you see who owns it or if anyone owns it. If not, you can choose to claim it or not. Whether you claim it or not, you still have to encounter it because you're in that land. You're walking around. You encounter the land. You deal with whatever it is. I might have encountered a monster there, or maybe I found a treasure chest. You just never know. And when you're done, that is the end of the round. And you start over. Remember that you can do any of these 6 things. You can go to the dungeon or the town once per turn. Well, I don't have any money to build any buildings. I haven't discovered any sites. There's no return to encounter like a monster. I might encounter a really powerful monster. I can run away and wait until I'm stronger and then go back. That's called return to an encounter. I think what I want to do now is I want to investigate some more land. So I tell you what, we're going to go south this time. So I'm going to go to TLAT1, which is on page 178. And I'm going to choose this one. So to remind me, I'm going to go and I'm going to draw a square. And I'm going to write the number 2. I'm going to roll the die. Green is primary. 5-2 is Overgrown Chasm. And it's OC. Now it's a string. And its rank is 2. Now strings will run across multiple plots. And there's rules for how you do it. I need to see if it's owned by anybody. Remember, on a 3 to 6, nobody owns it. Somebody owns it. So I cannot claim this land. It is a plot 2, and what did I say? OC for Overgrown Chasm. I'm going to write it in here. Overgrown Chasm. Its size, we don't know that yet, but its rank is 2. So somebody else owns this land, and when you need to determine who owns the land, it's on page, let me go find it. Landowner identity. Okay, here it is. LAIT1. LAIT1, landowner identity, is on page 162. So go to page 162, and we still don't know how big this is, but we'll do that in a minute. 162, it's a D12, so you roll 2D6. I rolled a 4 and a 2, so 6. It is owned by dignitary Kurgan Ruddy Low. Ruddy Low. I'm going to write 6 on here so I can remember which one I rolled. He is known as something of a bully and is looking to make a profit. He is willing to sell it at twice its value. So I'm going to put sell at 2x value. We don't know the value yet because we don't know the size of it. Let's go back, and there is a section on developing a string. A string will wander randomly through the land, and it does have a certain size, and it has a starting place, and you roll randomly to determine how it wanders. So first off, these are a type of plot area. When discovered, you need to generate a string of squares. The first square is drawn as the land type. So let's go back, and we will draw it there. So this is 2OC, and it has a symbol of this black, like, break in the land. So it says, pick a starting square. String plots extend through it. If a string area is 5 or larger, you also roll on 5 PT. So we don't know what it is yet, but it is an area. So because it's a string, we have to roll to see how big the area is. You roll a D6. Remember, add 1 to this. It's 3 squares. So it starts here, and it's going to go through 3 squares, or 2 more squares. But before I start drawing it, I need to know where it's going. So it's also not bigger than 5, so I don't have to roll on that extra thing. So here's how it works. You take the square that it starts in, and it says you assign the new sides of the second square with the number 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 5, 6. So I can pick, I think I pick where it starts. The first square is drawn as a line, and then pick a square adjacent to it, which can be a okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose this square as the way it's going. So I'll number them. This is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because I'm coming at it this direction is what I'm assuming. So I'll roll to see where does it go. This one, or this one. So let's roll a die. I rolled a 4. So I'm going to go ahead and erase this and this, and we're gonna go here. So this continues. This continues the chasm. If I can actually start writing here. 2OC, and then in here, because we're coming at it this way, I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we'll roll it again. 2. So it's going to go this way. So it winds, and I don't even know what type of land this is yet. I'm probably supposed to determine that. For all plots, hold on just a second. It's a string. This is along the plot area. The main plots will be something that weaves through the squares, such as a river or band of road. When discovering, you need to generate a string of squares. The first, okay, so I don't even know what type of land it is. I just know there's a chasm there. That's weird. I must be missing something because I think I'm probably supposed to determine the first square is drawn as the land type. So you are supposed to roll for the land type. I made that mistake. Okay. So we'll go figure, well, the land type is chasm, so never mind, duh. Because if you go back here to the charts, remember they're in alphabetical order, I'll bet you chasm is a land type. Old quarry, old well, overgrown chasm. Yeah, all right, so it starts here, it goes here, and it goes. So it looks like this. It's a chasm that wanders through the land like this. And I'll come in coloring this in later with more detail. But as you can see, it's a chasm. It's a deep place that runs into the ground, and it covers 3 plots. And we need to discover it or encounter it. So I'm on page 102. It is rank 2. It is a string. Roll 2d6 to see what's here. That is a 5. 5 on overgrown is, the chasm is full of lush plants and on one side is covered in moss. There seems to be an energy here that is unsettling. You spot something sitting on a moss-covered boulder further on and move forward to investigate. It is a large and curious item. Roll on SPITT1 to find out what it is. You reach for it, but as you do, a land spirit bursts from the undergrowth and attacks. Defend yourself. If you survive, you can take the item. Let's figure out what the item is. SPITT1 is Special Item 1, page 186. So, special item, it is a D6. I rolled a 1. It is a moon crystal. So I'm going to write that in here. A moon crystal. And I don't know what that is. I'll have to figure it out. Moon crystal. Yeah, I'm not sure. But I can't just grab it. Instead, I have to fight a land spirit. All right, so I'm going to wrap this video up shortly because I keep these under 30 minutes. But before I do, I want to explain how this works. With this game, both 2d6 Realm and 2d6 Dungeon, you have these things called monster cards or creature cards. In the book, they're back here in the... Well, let me find them for you. Come on, where are they? Here they are, right here. You can print these out and onto cardstock and keep them. Or, like I do, you can buy the cards pre-printed from Toby Lancaster. I'm going to find this old spirit and see what it is. I don't know. I don't know how powerful it is. It may be something that I have to run, but hopefully not. It is called a land spirit. Now, if I want to know what level it is, I can quickly reference the creature cards. A land spirit, because they're in alphabetical order. Land spirit is a level 2 creature. I'm a level 1, so this is not necessarily a good thing. So let me get the level 1 cards. They say the level up in the upper right corner here, and I've merged the 2d6 dungeon cards with the 2d6 realm. So I need to go to the level 2 cards, and it's a land spirit, which I must all right, let's keep going. Level 2 land spirit. So I have the land spirit card in front of me. It is a level 2 creature. It has 14 health. I only have 10. It gives me 60 XP if I defeat it. It also has no treasure, so there's nothing. I'm not going to gain anything by fighting it. I am going to fight this creature. I'm going to see what I can do. Keep in mind, I do have 1 health potion on me. You get that when you create your adventurer. I also have 10 health. So what I'm going to do in the next episode is I'm going to bring out the combat, my combat board, and I'm going to fight this creature and show you how combat works in this game. And if I beat it, I get that moonstone. All right, this is Jim, the Tabletop Engineer. Thanks for joining me on this intro game of 2d6 Realm. Just a quick bit of information. I have recently moved my YouTube channel over to a membership type option. Anytime I start a new game, I will always make the first couple videos free for anyone. And basically it's just to give you a chance to look and see if you like what you see. And if you do, you can become a member and you can keep watching the members only videos that will continue the game. It only costs 99 cents a month to become a member where you can watch all my members only videos. So if this is something you like and you want to help me support me and continue to see more videos, not just 2d6 Realm, not just 2d6 Dungeon, but other solo games, please consider becoming a member. It really does help. It helps me justify the time that I put into playing the games, shooting the video, doing the editing, and all that stuff. All right, I will be back in the next video, which will be free. You can see how the combat works out, and we'll see how Tanidam does against the land spirit. This is Jim, the Tabletop Engineer. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you in the next episode. Everybody, take care.
Check out the new RPG and Wargame newsletter. Each week, the Tabletop Engineer shares news, products, Kickstarters, and much more related to the gaming hobby. It's free to subscribe, so check out the link in the video description below to sign up.